Have you ever wondered what happened to Billy Redden, the unforgettable banjo-playing boy from Deliverance? His role in the iconic Dueling Banjos scene left a lasting impression on Hollywood and audiences alike. But what about the man behind that memorable performance? Today we'll take you on a journey through Billy Redden's life, from his humble beginnings in Redden County, Georgia, to his brief but impactful Hollywood career, and how he has remained a symbol of Appalachian authenticity. Billy Redden was born on October 13th, 1956, in Redden County, Georgia, a rural area known for its scenic Appalachian landscape and tight-knit communities. Growing up in this small town, Redden lived a modest life surrounded by the natural beauty of the North Georgia mountains. Redden County, during Redden's youth, was a quiet, somewhat isolated region where traditional values and simple living defined the local culture. As a child, Redden was known for his distinctive features, his almond-shaped eyes and slim frame, which later played a crucial role in his discovery by Hollywood scouts. Life in Redden County likely involved the kind of activities typical for kids in rural areas at the time, playing outdoors, exploring the woods, and helping out with family or community tasks. In 1971, at the age of 15, Redden's life took a dramatic turn when Lynn Stolmaster, a casting director for the film Deliverance, visited Redden County. Stolmaster was looking for locals to portray the Appalachian residents central to the film's story. Redden's unique appearance caught Stolmaster's eye, leading to his introduction to director John Boorman. Although Boorman had initially sought an albino child for the role, Redden's distinct look and shy demeanor convinced the director that he was the perfect fit to portray a banjo-playing boy in the famous Dueling Banjos scene. Redden's selection for Deliverance brought an unexpected spotlight to his quiet life. Despite the fame the film eventually brought him, he remained a humble figure, tied to the roots of his upbringing in Redden County. His early experiences reflect the intersection of small-town life and sudden global attention, a dynamic that shaped his later years. Billy Redden's life took a dramatic turn at the age of 15 when his quiet Appalachian upbringing intersected with the glamour of Hollywood. From his modest beginnings in Redden County, Georgia, he was unexpectedly thrust into the spotlight after being discovered by Lynn Stolmaster for the film Deliverance. This life-changing moment not only brought fame, but also introduced him to a world far removed from the simple traditions of his hometown. This unexpected start marked the beginning of a career that, though sporadic, left an indelible mark on American cinema. As Redden transitioned from a local boy in the Appalachian Mountains to a symbol of rural authenticity on the big screen, his experiences highlight the intersection of Hollywood storytelling and the unique charm of small-town America. His journey from Deliverance to later roles like Big Fish and his reflections in documentaries illustrate a life defined by the balance of fame and staying true to his roots. Billy Redden's career began with a breakthrough role that would forever associate him with one of cinema's most iconic scenes. In 1972, he was cast in the film Deliverance as a banjo-playing boy in the unforgettable Dueling Banjos sequence. Director John Boorman chose Redden for his distinctive appearance, characterized by almond-shaped eyes and a slim frame, which made him the perfect fit for the role of a local Appalachian child. Though Redden did not know how to play the banjo, the filmmakers devised a clever solution. A professional banjo player crouched behind Redden and reached through a specially tailored shirt to perform the music, with carefully choreographed camera angles concealing the trick. This scene not only became a defining moment for the film, but also immortalized Redden in cinematic history. After Deliverance thrust Billy Redden into the public eye, his connection to the Appalachian aesthetic continued to shape his career, albeit sporadically. In 1984, Redden appeared in Blast Fighter, an Italian-produced action film directed by Lamberto Bava. The movie, shot in and around Clayton, Georgia, featured Redden in a small but memorable role. Blast Fighter blended themes of survival and rural tension, reminiscent of Deliverance, and allowed Redden to contribute to a project that celebrated the ruggedness and beauty of his native Appalachian region. The film, though not widely recognized in mainstream cinema, found a niche audience among fans of cult action movies, adding another layer to Redden's unique career trajectory. Nearly 2 decades later, Redden's enigmatic appeal resurfaced when director Tim Burton sought him out for a role in Big Fish, 2003. Burton, known for his penchant for quirky, visually striking characters, was drawn to the cultural impact of Redden's performance in Deliverance. In Big Fish, Redden portrayed a banjo-playing greeter in the whimsical and utopian town of Spectre. The role was a deliberate nod to his earlier work, as Burton saw in Redden a living connection to a bygone cinematic era. This marked not only a return to the screen for Redden, but also a reaffirmation of his symbolic place in the narrative of Southern Americana. Big Fish became a critical and commercial success, and while Redden's role was brief, it left a lasting impression. His presence in the film served as a bridge between the nostalgic imagery of his youth and the magical realism that defined Burton's storytelling. By this point, Redden had become more than just an actor. He embodied a particular vision of the American South, one that filmmakers continued to revisit when seeking authenticity and a touch of the extraordinary. Billy Redden's sporadic yet impactful career continued into the 2000s, with roles that capitalized on his unique persona and the cultural legacy of his Deliverance performance. In 2004, he appeared on the comedy show Blue Collar TV, playing Ray, a car repairman, in a comedic sketch titled The Redneck Dictionary. True to his iconic image, the skit incorporated a banjo-playing moment, once again evoking memories of his Deliverance role. While the appearance was brief, it highlighted the enduring fascination with the character type Redden had come to symbolize and how filmmakers and audiences alike still associated him with Appalachian culture. In 2009, Redden returned to the screen in the indie thriller Outrage, Born in Terror. This film, while relatively low profile, saw Redden reprising a role reminiscent of his backwoods roots. The production leaned heavily on his distinctive appearance and the mystique surrounding his earlier work. By this point, Redden had become a cultural touchstone for directors seeking authenticity and a visceral connection to rural Americana. In 2012, The Deliverance of Rabun County, a documentary marking the 40th anniversary of Deliverance, offered Redden an opportunity to reflect on his career and its impact. The documentary explored how the film shaped perceptions of Rabun County and its residents, for better or worse. In candid interviews, Redden spoke about how Deliverance had been both a blessing and a bittersweet experience. While it opened doors and introduced him to a world far removed from his quiet Appalachian upbringing, the financial rewards were minimal, and his fame remained tied to a single defining role. Throughout these years, Redden remained grounded in his Appalachian roots. He continued to live and work in Clayton, Georgia, where he co-owned the Cookie Jar Cafe, serving as both a cook and dishwasher. This lifestyle contrasted sharply with the fleeting glamour of his Hollywood experiences, emphasizing his connection to the community that had shaped him. Despite the limited number of roles in his career, Redden's impact on American cinema endured, not through quantity, but through the indelible mark of his performances. His appearances in later productions served as a reminder of the power of authenticity and the enduring appeal of characters rooted in real, lived experiences. Outside of acting, Redden lived a modest life in Clayton, Georgia. He co-owned a small restaurant, the Cookie Jar Cafe, where he worked as a cook and dishwasher. This unassuming lifestyle reflected his grounding in the community where he was raised. Although his filmography is limited, Billy Redden's contribution to American cinema endures, with his role in Deliverance standing as a symbol of authenticity and cultural storytelling that continues to resonate with audiences to this day. Billy Redden's journey into the world of cinema began as an unassuming teenager from Rabun County, Georgia, whose life was transformed when he was cast in Deliverance. This unexpected opportunity not only introduced him to the glitz of Hollywood, but also anchored him as a lasting symbol of rural authenticity. From his modest beginnings to his career-defining role in the film, Redden's story is a testament to the profound impact a single moment can have on a life. Following his debut in Deliverance, Redden's career unfolded sporadically but meaningfully, with roles that celebrated his connection to Appalachian culture. His performance as the banjo-playing boy in the iconic Dueling Banjos scene became a defining moment in cinematic history, setting the stage for later appearances in films like Blast Fighter and Big Fish. Through these roles, Redden continued to embody a vision of the American South that resonated deeply with audiences and filmmakers alike. His career, though brief, left an indelible mark, bridging the worlds of small-town life and Hollywood storytelling. The depiction of Appalachian people in Deliverance has been a long-standing point of contention, with critics arguing that the film reinforced damaging stereotypes about rural Southerners. Billy Redden's character, a banjo-playing boy with a distinctive appearance, became emblematic of this portrayal. His role was central to the iconic Dueling Banjos scene, which, while celebrated, also contributed to the perception of Appalachians as socially isolated, inbred, or uneducated, a narrative many locals felt was reductive and unfair. For those in the region, the film's depiction risked overshadowing the richness of Appalachian culture and the realities of its communities. Billy Redden himself, however, was a local teenager with no professional acting experience or intention of entering Hollywood when he was cast. Discovered by casting scouts for his unusual appearance, Redden became the face of a cultural debate he never sought to join. In interviews, he has spoken about his pride in being part of a cinematic classic, but has also acknowledged the complexities of how his role has been perceived. For Redden, the opportunity to appear in Deliverance was transformative, but also bittersweet, as it typecast him into a single image tied to the film's controversial portrayal of Appalachia. Beyond the cultural criticism, the economic aspect of Redden's involvement also sparked conversations about the treatment of local non-actors in major productions. As a minor at the time of filming, Redden received little financial compensation and few career opportunities after the movie's release. Despite the lasting impact of his performance and the ongoing success of Deliverance, he did not share in the film's financial rewards. His experience became a poignant example of how locals, especially those from economically disadvantaged backgrounds, can contribute to a blockbuster production, yet reap limited personal benefit. While Redden has never openly criticized the filmmakers, his reflections in interviews suggest a nuanced view. He has expressed gratitude for the experience, but has also highlighted the challenges of being thrust into the limelight with little support or follow-up opportunities. The broader conversation surrounding Deliverance, its depiction of rural America, its impact on local communities, and its treatment of non-professional actors like Redden, remains a complex legacy of the film. For Redden, his role in the movie is both a source of pride and a symbol of the disparities that can exist in the entertainment industry. Fifth, Billy Redden's performance in Deliverance not only launched his brief acting career, but also positioned him at the center of a broader cultural conversation about the portrayal of Appalachian people in the media. His journey, which began as an unassuming teenager thrust into the spotlight, highlighted both the opportunities and challenges faced by locals brought into Hollywood productions. While his role immortalized him in cinematic history, it also sparked debates over stereotypes and the treatment of non-professional actors in blockbuster films. Despite these controversies, Redden maintained a quiet and humble presence in his hometown of Clayton, Georgia. His relationships with filmmakers like John Boorman and later Tim Burton reflected his unique appeal and the respect he garnered for his authenticity. Outside of Hollywood, Redden's life revolved around his community, where he was known as a kind and approachable figure at his cafe. These personal connections, combined with his sporadic film appearances, illustrate a life marked by both public recognition and deep ties to the simplicity of his Appalachian roots. Billy Redden's relationships, both personal and professional, are rooted in the duality of his life as a small-town resident and a figure associated with one of Hollywood's most iconic films. His journey into acting began through his connection with casting director Lynn Stolmaster, who discovered him in Rabun County, Georgia, while scouting for local talent for Deliverance. Stolmaster's decision to introduce Redden to director John Boorman opened the door to Redden's brief but impactful career in the entertainment industry. Boorman, impressed by Redden's distinctive appearance, cast him in a role that would come to define his public persona. Despite limited interaction with Hollywood thereafter, Redden always spoke with respect about the opportunity Boorman gave him. Years later, Redden reconnected with the entertainment industry through Tim Burton, who specifically sought him out for Big Fish, 2003. Burton, known for his love of eccentric and visually striking characters, was intrigued by Redden's association with Appalachian culture and the unique charm he brought to Deliverance. The two shared a brief professional relationship during the filming of Big Fish, where Redden's role as a banjo-playing greeter in the utopian town of Spectre was a subtle homage to his earlier work. Outside of Hollywood, Redden cultivated relationships in his local community in Clayton, Georgia. As a part owner of the Cookie Jar Cafe, he was known not only as a cook and dishwasher, but also as a friendly and approachable figure in the town. His down-to-earth demeanor and ties to the community endeared him to locals, many of whom knew him not as the actor from Deliverance, but as a neighbor and friend. Redden's interactions with the media and fans over the years also reflect his reserved but gracious personality. He occasionally participated in interviews and events celebrating the legacy of Deliverance, including documentaries and retrospectives, where he shared his thoughts on the film's impact on his life and his community. While he kept a low profile, his willingness to engage with those curious about his story showed his appreciation for the unique position he occupied in cinematic history. Billy Redden's relationships, both personal and professional, highlight the duality of his life as a local Appalachian resident and a figure tied to one of Hollywood's most iconic films. His connection to directors like John Boorman and Tim Burton underscores the respect he garnered for his authenticity and unique charm. These professional collaborations allowed him to leave a lasting impression in cinema, even as his career remained sporadic. Outside of Hollywood, Redden was deeply rooted in his hometown of Clayton, Georgia, where he built strong ties with his community through his work at the Cookie Jar Cafe and his approachable personality. Today, Redden continues to embody this balance between cultural legacy and modest living. He remains an active member of his community, cherished as both a neighbor and a symbol of Appalachian authenticity. His occasional reflections in interviews and documentaries such as The Deliverance of Redden County, reveal a man who values his roots and the simplicity of his small-town life, even as his role in Deliverance keeps his name alive in cinematic history. Billy Redden now continues to live a quiet and modest life in his hometown of Clayton, Georgia. Despite the fame brought by his performance as the banjo-playing boy in the Dueling Banjos scene, Redden has largely avoided the spotlight and chosen to remain connected to his Appalachian roots. In recent years, Redden has been known to work at the Cookie Jar Cafe, a local restaurant where he was both a part owner and a staff member. There, he served as a cook and dishwasher, often engaging with locals and visitors alike. For many, Redden is not just a figure tied to cinematic history, but also a neighbor and friend who embodies the spirit of his small-town community. While he occasionally participates in interviews or documentaries, such as The Deliverance of Redden County, 2012, which marked the 40th anniversary of Deliverance, Redden has expressed that he remains proud of his role in the film, but does not dwell on his brief brush with Hollywood. He has shared reflections on how the movie shaped his life both positively and negatively, and how it continues to influence perceptions of Appalachian culture. Billy Redden's life today is a blend of his enduring cultural legacy and his grounded, simple lifestyle. Though he rarely seeks public attention, his name remains synonymous with one of the most memorable moments in American cinema, while he remains a humble and respected member of his local community. And that's the story of Billy Redden, an ordinary teenager whose unique appearance catapulted him into one of cinema's most iconic moments. Despite his brief time in the Hollywood spotlight, Billy has remained true to his roots, living a simple life in his hometown. His legacy continues to resonate, not just as the banjo-playing boy in Deliverance, but as a reminder of the power of authenticity in storytelling. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating stories about the lives behind the legends.